Public speaking is an art. Students are usually encouraged very early in their life to master it. Um, what they don't realize is speaking is easy when you have very strong opinion about something and you are convinced that your opinion is right. But as time passes by, you learn more things. Your perspective widens. As your perspective widens, you realize that what you thought was right is no longer the only way of looking at the things. So, when you have multiple ways of looking at the same thing, multiple approaches to the same problem, and that's when you think multiple times before speaking because you fail to know what is the right way to do something. And as time passes by, you also have trouble understanding what is right, for who a thing is right, what is wrong, what is the definition of right, what is the definition of wrong, right for whom, wrong for whom. So while a lot of parents and schools encourage their kids or students respectively to be uh, be stage friendly, they encourage students to go to the stage and speak. Schools hold elocution competition, debate competition. Parents encourage their children to go and sing on stage or speak on stage, or in social gatherings they encourage their children to go and speak. And usually kids, or younger people, are very easy to mold, they are very easy to convince. So if they are convinced that the world works in this way, they go and then just speak, and with full conviction. And that's what is very attractive. Whenever someone speaks with full conviction, people listen. A word spoken from someone's mouth or someone's tongue reaches other person's heart directly. It's humans. We are humans. Humans are conversing amongst other humans. Conversation. Animals converse with other animals by making sounds. So it's natural for one human to tune into another human who's speaking with full conviction, or someone who is speaking with a lot of confidence, as if what they are saying is the right thing. If there is innocence on the side of the speaker, or if I say if there is, apart from innocence, what you can say, someone, naivety is the word. If someone is naive, then they can be very easily brainwashed, intentionally or unintentionally, and they may say this is the way the things are, and then they will say it with full conviction. So when kids speak with conviction, people listen and they say, wow, one day this guy or this girl will grow up to become a great orator, great speaker. Usually speeches come from ideology. Ideology comes from thought. Thought comes from organizing multiple bits and pieces of wisdom. And wisdom comes from information. Information one gathers over time, or gathers over places, or gathers over meeting multiple people with different ideology, different ways of presenting their ideology. So, as time passes by, people no longer are that convinced, because they have now been subject to a different way of thinking. So how does one speak without holding an opinion? If I am speaking about something without holding an opinion, without presenting my view of that thing, then I'm just a reporter that, hey, India played a cricket match and India won by, say, 100 runs, for example. That's just factual. I'm not communicating my opinion. I'm not communicating my way of looking at things. If I'm not communicating my way of looking at things, then it's not very unique to me. It's not very specific to me. And if it's not very specific to me, there's no point saying, because someone else could have said the same thing, right? It's just it's just hard labor. You're not adding any value. If nobody else is doing it, so you just went ahead and did it, but you didn't add your own touch, right? So reporting or stating things as they are is very obvious. So somebody in older days, when there was nobody to read it, someone will type up a piece of paper and give it to a gentleman with a baronly voice or a lady, and then they will read it on a mic, and that will become a broadcasting service or a news service or a radio, and there would be millions who would be tuning in to listen to that radio. That's all that it was. There wasn't any opinion piece, there was just someone reading it. Nowadays you don't need a human to read that piece of paper or a block of text. There are software. AI can convert any text to audio immediately. So if someone is just converting text to audio, and that someone who's converting that text to audio has no control over what that text is, then that someone is just a puppet. That someone is not adding any value. If what someone is reading is not written by them, again, if there is no perspective, if it's just mechanical reading, then AI can do it. Machines can do it. You don't need a human to do it. There's no value if a human reads something. It's essential, therefore, that if someone is speaking, someone is adding some value. Someone is doing something that a machine cannot do. Either someone write. So it's perfectly fine to read something that you have written, but it's very essential that you have written it. So it's your way of looking at thing. It's not factual. Factual things we can, okay. So again, there is Leo Tolstoy, or there is Mark Twain, or there is Robert Frost. You can read a poetry, or you can read a story. You can read Jungle Book in your voice. Okay, but you are not Amitabh Bachchan. Why should someone listen to Jungle Book in your voice? Okay, if Amitabh Bachchan speaks Jungle Book or reads Jungle Book in his voice, okay, people will listen because they like his voice. If a great singer, musician reads a book in the voice, because for them voice is the differentiator. But for an average Joe, voice is not a differentiator, number one. Now what is being spoken is also not a differentiator. Then what is a differentiator, right? That's very, very essential for someone to have a look into it. See your ideas, and when you are speaking, now you know that you can look at the same problem in two different perspectives. And if you are not brainwashed, you are now confused which one is right. Right for whom? Right for you, right for your family, right for your country, right for that field. You don't know what right is, right? So if someone say, hey, you should only speak in this way, but then you'll say, but why not the other way, right? So to be completely rational is to be absolutely confused. And if you're absolutely confused, then you wouldn't speak up at all. You would just sit silently. And because whatever you say, someone can always criticize and say that, hey, the reverse is also true. So what do you do then? It's just confusion. So whenever someone speaks, if it's not factual, then it would be interesting, but it will definitely offend someone else, because it would be a perspective, and perspectives can be criticized. But it's very essential that the criticism is for the perspective. It's a constructive criticism. It's not the criticism of a person. It's the way of thinking and adding a different way of thinking. and then bringing that way of thinking into a good healthy debate, and that requires a lot of a lot of factors. It requires atmosphere, it requires the people listening to be equally adept in uh, absorbing a counterpoint or a point which is a bit deviated from what they are programmed to think. Because if someone is just saying what is obvious, then again um, it's not adding any value. It's just serving as a reminder. I can say that, hey, today is a particular day. Today is, we are celebrating this. Okay, yeah, everyone knows that. You're just reminding. You're just a reminder clock. What's the value? So, looking at value, um, and then value to whom? That's where the entire marketing piece comes into picture. Marketing is, as a very learned person once said, it's creating, communicating, and delivering value. So here, but value to whom? Who is your audience? Who is the segment? Who belongs to that segment or that cluster or that cohort of population that you are addressing to? Uh, what is their education level? What is their tolerance level? What is their willingness to listen in to someone who doesn't uh, look like them, talk like them, but is just a different perspective? So that speaks different way of looking at things. Very often, um, as more and more verbal content gets published by a podcaster, by a person, it very quickly becomes reacting to something. Say, hey, today something happened, nice happened, so, or today something bad happened, so I can't do, I couldn't counteract that person, so let me then make a podcast. Or, as it's very popular in music industry, making diss tracks. So it's just to put someone else down. But uh, uh, I don't think audio should be a way to justify any kind of aggression or any kind of. Audio should be a way to communicate your opinion. It shouldn't be targeted towards someone. It should be targeted towards uplifting people. It should be focused towards advancing human race. It should be focused towards how to make the lives of people better. Of course, that's what all of us do. All of us want to achieve in life, right? We always want to achieve a better quality of life. Again, it sounds very hunky dory, or it sounds very goody goody when someone says it's all about pursuit of happiness. It's not just about pursuit of happiness. It's also about every invention has always been targeted towards reducing pain, removing bottlenecks, improving quality of life. So if someone, I feel, speaks and wants to add value and wants to not just be speaking what someone else has written, then a good way to start would be to focus on um, improving the um, improving the quality of life of people, or at least bringing the human race forward in the way that they think they can. Someone may feel that criticizing brings the human race forward, which is not right. Being constructive, and as it's said that if you can be anything, be kind, be nice, be warm. Humanity trumps everything. So if humanity wins, then everything else follows. So usually that's what I would rather aspire to achieve. Peace out.